Hey everybody, I hope you're doing really well. This is Mrs. Buller. I can't be there with you in person because I'm gone at an art teacher conference in Northern Ohio where I'm learning different things about being the best art teacher I can be and some different types of lessons and fun projects I can do with you guys. So while I'm gone, I did this video lesson so you can work with your sub and still make some fun artwork. So the first thing we're going to do today is we're going to take a pencil and write your name and your class on your paper. You always want to write it in the corner because it's easier to see. And when you write your class, you're supposed to write your grade and then the first letter of your teacher's name. Then when you're finished, you're going to flip it over so you can't see it. We never do our artwork on the side with our name because if we do it on the side with our name, it takes away from our artwork and then we might not be able to see our name because we might cover it up. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get a green strip of paper. If you look at your green strip of paper, it's just as long as your blue piece. You can choose to keep your green piece just how it is and glue it nice. Or if you want to, you can make a little design by cutting a little curve. Just make sure you're staying close to the edge with it. You don't want to cut too far down because you want it to stay pretty big. Now, when you cut, take your time. Some people like to draw first. I just went ahead and cut, but I have to keep in mind I'm only getting one piece of green paper, so I need to take my time and make sure I'm doing my best. You might not even be able to see the top of your grass. It just depends on how big your trees are. So we're going to carefully glue the back of our green all the way down to the bottom of our blue. Again, you don't have to cut the sides of your green because it should fit perfectly, and you can smooth it on. Okay, so now you have your sky and you have your grass line on the bottom. Again, you might not see all this. It just depends on how much space your trees take up. Now for the next part, if you are in kindergarten or first grade or Miss B or Miss H's class, you may have shapes already drawn on your paper. So if that's the case, you're going to pick about 4 of the different papers with the shapes drawn, and you can take your time cutting those out or having a helper, if you're in Miss H's room, help you cut them out. Or in Miss B's room. If you are in grades 2, 3, 4, or 5, you're going to grab 6 pieces of colored paper. Okay? Once you have your 6 pieces of colored paper, I'm going to show you what to do next. On these 6 pieces of colored paper, we're going to draw some shapes. Starting out on one of your pieces of paper, I would like for you to draw an oval shape. An oval is just a really long circle. You want to draw it as big as you can. I am drawing using a marker, which is not great because if I mess up, I can't erase it. I would really like for you to draw using a pencil. The only reason I'm drawing using a marker is sometimes it's harder to see from far away. When you're finished with your first oval, set it to the side and pick another piece of paper. On this one, you're also going to draw another oval. Again, if you're in kindergarten or first grade, your shapes are already drawn, so you're just going to cut out the shapes that are already drawn. You don't need this part. Okay, you're going to find your third color. Again, it's whatever colors you like. You just want to make sure they're all different so they stand out. On this one, you're going to make a tall, skinny triangle shape. I like to make the letter A and go down and make a line across. So you should have 2 ovals and a tall triangle at this point. Since I'm upside down, it may be easier for you to see this way. Sometimes it's easier to make a tall letter A and then make a line going across. So I have 3 papers, 3 shapes. On my 4th paper, I'm going to make kind of a funny shape. It's going to look almost like a popsicle. Or somebody said it looked like a loaf of bread yesterday and it kind of made me laugh. That's true too. So we're going to go up like we're making a rectangle. And we're going to curl around like a rainbow and back down. And then we're going to make a line across. So it kind of looks like a rainbow or a piece of bread or a popsicle. Somebody said it kind of looks like a ghost or a gumdrop. I could see that too. So we have 2 ovals, a triangle, and this kind of semicircle shape. The next one's going to be just a regular round circle. And then your last one's going to be kind of a fun mix of things, okay? We're going to start out to the side like we're making a triangle and make it rounded up top and go down. Then we're going to curve around the side, go straight and curve again. It's almost going to look like a candy corn, kind of a rounded triangle. So now I should have 6 shapes to cut out. When you cut out your shapes, take your time. You want them to look just as nice as what you started with. Now I'm cutting fast because I've had a lot of practice at cutting. Please take your time. So with this project, it's kind of fun because the trees don't all look exactly like a typical tree we'd see outside. They're different shapes and they're different colors, which makes it kind of abstract. So with realistic art, things look real. So if you painted a tree realistically, it would be the same color, shape, everything you could to make it look like a real tree. And then we have non-objective art. Non-objective art, you can't tell any recognizable shapes or colors or objects, or I shouldn't say any objects. It's only shapes and colors. So it's like if you made a painting with nothing but cool lines and different blocks of color. This type of art we're doing today is called abstract. So it's taking an idea like trees, but giving it some abstract thought and changing it up, giving it different colors than what we might normally see, and giving it different shapes than what we might normally see. So I'm going to put all of my scraps in a stack. That way they're easy to throw away. And as I cut my shapes, I'm going to put them in a pile. That way I don't accidentally throw them away. Your teacher can pause the video at any time. That way you can go back and see what you should be doing. Okay, so I've got my grass. Now I need to pick 3 of my bigger shapes for my background. So I can kind of turn them however I want to. I want a really big kind of blob oval. So up here, I'm going to put this one. It's okay that it's higher than the grass because we're going to have some trees overlap it here in a minute. Let's see, I'll do this kind of cool ghosty shaped tree. Really kind of smooth it down. Again, this one's going to be kind of higher up. Let's see. Next, I'm going to do the circle tree. It's okay if they overlap. Most of the time in a forest, you can't see through the trees because they're overlapping. It's also okay if your shapes were smaller than mine. They don't have to be the same size as mine. Let's see. I'm going to make my first row was up higher. Now my second row is going to go down lower. You can kind of decide, you know, that's too much triangle in a row for me, so I'm going to move it over here. Kind of decide whatever you think looks good. Just kind of smooth them as you go. It's okay if they're shifted a little bit one way or the other. You know, not everything grows perfectly in the earth. Trees look like they're kind of shifted. They don't grow perfectly up and down. Okay, so once I got my trees, I want to make sure they're all smoothed nicely. Okay. For the last part, you can use a pencil first if you're scared of not putting the lines in the right place. Because remember, if we work with a marker, we can't erase. Or you can go ahead and work with a marker. Just a reminder, take your time, do your best. So we want to look at our back row trees. With my back row, the only one that I think we might see the stem or trunk of the tree is this one. It's going to kind of go down, but it kind of goes down back behind this tree. This one I don't think we'd see. This one I also don't think we'd see. So now I'm going to go to the front row, about halfway down. I'm going to make the tree trunks, just simple lines. So this one I'm going to make just a little bit of line up top here, where the middle of the tree would be. Okay, now I get to have fun. I get to make different shapes and patterns for the tree limbs. For a traditional tree limb, you can make a couple lines just going out. And then you can kind of branch off with the letter B coming off of each one. Maybe another little couple lines coming off of it. That's kind of fun. This tree I'm just going to make a little different. So I'm gonna make almost like a circle shape going around, kind of like a lollipop. Maybe make some dots on it. It doesn't actually have to be anything. You can just have fun with it. For this one, I'm gonna make some lines just going across. Just kind of having fun with it. There's no rhyme or reason. Sometimes it's just fun. This one with the paper collage, it's all just about different lines and shapes, having fun with them. This one's gonna have some swirly lines going out. Again, yours don't have to copy mine, you decide. Maybe you want to make them all look like this one or all like this one. That's okay too. This one, I'm really gonna have fun with. I'm going to start off kind of with a C shape going around. And then I'm going to make more C shapes, just kind of going around in a circle until they take the tree over. Then it looks full and like it has all these other cool shapes in it. Okay, and you can kind of just mix it up. This one's going to have some curly branches coming off of it. Kind of a whimsical tree. Okay, so it looks good. All my pieces have stayed down, so I don't need to re-glue anything. I have branches and nice trunks for each tree. So now I feel good about my tree, and I feel like it looks good, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it in. Again, make sure your name and class is on the back, and make sure you do a really good job of cleaning up. And I hope you're on your best behavior and having some fun. I can't wait to see you guys when I get back.